Welcome back. Marathon session of On the Streets with Hal, who is a casino dealer at Harris. And Hal is so steeped into conspiracies, he will make everybody, anybody else you know, pale in comparison. A lot of what he says I take with a huge grain of salt, but he is interesting to listen to. It'd be nice to see if a lot of what he says is true, but as I said, it's hard to believe it. But you'll judge for yourself. But he's good. I like him when he comes by. He helps me. We start out here talking to a few cucks along the way, and then we just settle into a conversation about what is what's going on. So sit back for this one, enjoy it, take your break along the way. And you know what you do if you like it. If you like it, if you care, you share. And if you haven't subscribed already and like what I do, well then please do subscribe, because no one else is doing this. No one stays out here and converses like this on the streets. No one engages with people with conversations of this length out there. I think I might be the only guy on the internet doing this. So if you like it, support me, will you? Because I sure could use it. You know, I got my PayPal, and I've got my my designs, which you can wear. You can. Here's one of them I've got on now, and this is one of the old ones. This is do the math thing. You can get this one in color now on sweatshirts or t-shirts. So go out there and help me a bit, all right? So let's get to this one. I don't want to keep you too long because this is a long one. Enjoy yourselves. God bless you. Here we go, On the Streets.
He's a Republican, yeah.
And you're a liberal?
Yeah.
Well, then thank you very much, sir. Here's a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton.
You're going to need that.
Now, can I ask you a question? Because I'm out here to try to get dialogue. I mean, I think there's a lot of rancor and discourse right now. And I think this is good that you guys get along. You love one another.
Yeah.
You know, but you're a liberal?
Most of my views are more liberal.
And what constitutes a liberal to you? What do you think is the differences between a liberal and
women's rights.
What rights don't women have?
Equal pay.
Matter of fact, the women do have equal pay. Matter of fact, a lot of women are getting paid more than men now.
Always. You have a good day, sir.
No, excuse me. Can you explain why Democrats are racist? No. What some guys will do to get laid, huh?
Hey.
Hi there, young lady.
Could you talk more about that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I think that Democrats are proven racist.
Why do you think so? Do you mind if I sit here?
No. Well,
I want to hear.
Yeah, well, right now, of course, they are adamantly against the wall. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, disproportionately, the people that are coming over from, Central and South America are low-skilled workers. Am I correct?
Why do you think so?
Because that's the way it is. I mean, that they're coming over. They don't speak our language. They work mostly maids and laborers. Am I correct? They're low-skilled workers. You don't have a bunch of scientists, doctors, and engineers crossing the border illegally, do you?
I'm an immigrant.
Yeah, but did you come in legally?
No. I'm on student visa.
Well, the student visa, wouldn't that be legal?
That's legal.
It's legal.
You didn't hop a wall and go through the desert, did you?
No, okay, thank you. So you're a student, you came over legally, you're having a student visa. But if you came over illegally, you'd be most likely doing what? Working a low-skilled job, am I correct?
A job that no American would not want to do.
Is going
No, it's a job that can
Well, that's not true, too, because only
that keeps you below the radar.
Only
Okay, so
3%.
you're saying that you would want to go in the fields and pick strawberries? Okay.
But that only takes up 3% of the people coming over. That's only 3%.
Okay.
So a vast majority of them are basically on government welfare programs or take up low-skilled jobs.
Really?
The thing
Yes.
is, they're undocumented and they cannot be on government welfare, and also.
Well, why are they undocumented? Because they came over legally. But the reason they're racist, the reason Democrats are racist, is because they're taking away low-skilled jobs. Who's on our lower half of our economic scale? It would be blacks. Am I correct?
But
So they're getting their jobs taken away by the people the Democrats are allowing over the border. So it is the black Americans that are disproportionately getting harmed by the Democratic policies of allowing illegal immigrants to come over and take their low-skilled jobs.
so you're saying that the black people should be the ones doing low-scale jobs instead of Mexicans?
I'm saying that's the way they have, it has been for a long time. I'm not saying that's the way it should be. I'm saying that's the way it is. Don't put words or feelings into my mouth. I'm not falling for that play. I don't go by that socialist, language. I think most people are that are Democrats are socialists. Yes, yes.
Wow. I'm seeing a whole other side of the world right now. Oh, shit.
Well, that's good, don't you think? Because being in an echo chamber, being in that echo chamber that you wind up getting in all the time.
Oh, my dad's a full-on Republican, and my mom is a full-on Republican.
You should listen to them.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay.
You should respect your parents.
Oh, I do. I respect my parents very well, but they're able to accept the other side of the spectrum and acknowledge that. Even acknowledge that some democratic policies.
Well, do
are
you acknowledge
viable.
that you've already acknowledged that the black Americans are basically in the lower end of the economic scale?
Oh, I do acknowledge that. There's a lot of white people that are also in the lower.
Well, they are too. Yes.
Yeah.
And their jobs are being taken by the illegal immigrants.
Look at the population. Blacks are a low percentage of population. They're 13%.
Okay.
Of the, but if you look at the percentage within that percentage, it's a higher amount.
If that's your case, that's a racial problem.
No, it's a cultural problem. It's not a racial. It's a cultural problem.
But that's a policy problem that puts those that raises that problem.
But the thing is that what he's saying is that in proportion to the overall population, within those parameters, it's a higher scale of blacks working lower paid jobs than whites. There are plenty of whites, millions of whites working lower. But if you look at it on the grand scale of the population, it's lower than a black population. So if you take 10% of a white population, that's 70%, and same.
Spent time in California before?
I used to live there, yes.
Yeah. So my experience in California working in the agricultural sector relies on the labor.
Yeah, that takes up 3% of the illegals coming over. That's 3%. The majority of them are on government welfare programs.
You're saying that only that 3% of Central American or South American immigrants that cross the border illegally, only 3% of that population is employed in
Working in the agricultural sector, yes.
Where do those numbers come from?
From the Census Bureau, from the census.
How are they taking a census for people who don't report to a census? I'm confused on that.
Well, from the labor force statistics, I mean, these statistics are easily looked up. I mean, you cannot say that all the illegal immigrants coming over or are working in the strawberry fields. I mean, we don't have that many strawberries.
That's not my contention.
We don't. I mean, if you pass any construction job, you're not going to hear Americans, English language. You're going to hear Spanish. When you go to any maid services, catering service, we can go on and on and on. The lower skilled jobs are being taken over by the illegal immigrants. It makes sense because if you can pay people less as a businessman, you want to pay as little as possible. Well, and I've talked to carpenters are out here that used to get paid $35 an hour. Now they're lucky if they can get a job for $15 an hour because they have to compete with the illegal immigrants that'll come over and do it for less.
Plus, you have to understand something too, is that there's a proportion involved. It's like an illegal alien will come over and work in the field for $4 an hour. But do you know what they're making back home? $3 a day. A day.
Yes.
So, if you see, have you been to Mexico?
Yeah.
Have you been on the outskirts?
Yeah.
Have you seen what they live in?
Sure.
What do you see?
See people living in impoverished conditions.
In huts, right? Leaning up against trees and whatever. So that's a family. So you get 4 people that will come in and share a house.
Come on.
Share a house with somebody and work as a janitor for $6 an hour. He's making a ton of money compared to somebody who's here saying, no, I want $15 minimum wage.
I guess
you know what I'm saying? So there's a proportional aspect that they're willing to do it because to them that's a lot of money. To us, it's not. And and people who have these businesses capitalize on that and they exploit that. They say, well, I'll hire this guy because he's willing to do it. I'm saving a ton of money. I don't have to pay benefits.
Right.
I don't have to record this shit. And that's where the incentive for them to come over is.
And
but
they also
it's illegal. It's still illegal.
Consumers also want to buy avocados.
Exactly. We're at fault too. The shirt you're wearing is made by some, 5-year-old that's making 2 cents a day.
Right.
So everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. But
plus the
there's
employers get to hang that sword over the illegals' heads. There's nothing wrong with visas, work visas, coming in legally and working legally that way. Why not? Why do people have to come over illegally and then they have that sword held over their head by employers saying, well, if you don't, how many stories did we hear here after Katrina of illegals that came over here and worked to put the city back together that didn't get paid because they were illegal and they said the contractors said, screw you.
They screwed them over. They had them come in and work and then they threatened them.
As long as we're
the thing is that
so people
who's getting demonized? We're not demonizing anybody. We're just bringing up economic facts. Nobody's demonizing. That's something you're saying that's not true. Nobody's demonizing anybody. What we're saying here is that the economic policies that are being put in place by illegals coming in are disproportionately hurting the working poor Americans in this country. That is not in any way demonizing anybody. That is an economic fact.
It's a demonizing statement.
Why? How?
All Democrats?
No, you didn't say all. It says Democrats. But they say Republicans.
The Democratic policies now will give $1 for the wall.
Democratic policy is different than Democrats. So.
Well, again, you're sort of like nuancing here. You're nitpicking. The fact is that the Democrats right now are adamantly against having the wall. They want open borders. They want more people coming in illegally. Who does that benefit? It benefits the elites most. It doesn't benefit the working poor in this country. It hurts them the most. So disproportionately is the working poor Americans in this country that are getting hurt by the Democratic policies.
And that's the Democratic policy of open borders.
Playing out on the ground, doing landscaping work here in New Orleans, like the way that I see this contention that illegal immigrants
You're looking in a bubble. You got to look outside here in other states that are being really affected by
I can talk about things that I don't have experience with. I'm just saying, in my experience, being working poor, I don't see that conflict playing out for the folks who are getting hired doing landscaping. I don't see a conflict. I don't see the ranks being filled disproportionately by illegal immigrants and then people of color saying, I can't get a job because. In all my experience, I see people who have come here working twice as hard as people.
How old are you?
33.
Well, the people that, listen, no one's ever said that the immigrants coming over aren't hard workers. I work my ass off too, because going back to the shithole country I came from where I can't get a job.
What does that mean, shithole country?
There are shithole countries. I've been to them. I've been to them where where the governments are very repressive. They keep the people down. The people can't make. He said they're lucky if they make $1 a day or $3 a day. They're living in poverty and they live under repression.
We benefit as a country because the economy is working that way. We can buy goods for cheap. We require that.
So you're willing to take advantage of that repression?
No, but this is
you're taking advantage of that repression? You're willing to take advantage of that repression. That's okay to you?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you want to use the global economics as a reason for calling an entire country a shithole place when our country benefits.
There are shithole countries. I've been to them.
That contention to me is just so basic and child. Like, how can you call a whole country where so many people, diverse people come from, call it a shithole place?
It's not just, the people, it's the way, what he's saying is the way it's being run.
The way the government...
So it's a shithole government?
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that different than calling a whole country a shithole place? And aren't these
what's he governing, a country, or is he governing what?
I mean, there are countries that don't have the natural resources. They don't have, they basically, they don't have proper water. They don't even have running, bathrooms and running water. I mean, the electricity is new to them. There's places I've been to where they don't have that. People live in shacks. I mean, if you don't call that a shithole, I don't know what is it.
Undeveloped infrastructure. It's just
well, okay, a developed infrastructure shithole, it still amounts up to the same thing. You're living in poverty. You're living in
I think it's a dangerous
unhealthy.
Thing to call when people. It's so easy to objectify the other, minimize the other, and see them as less than human. It's a dangerous thing to call an entire country where a diverse group of people come from a shithole place.
Whatever.
I think that's irresponsible.
Feelings, nothing left but feelings. It's all in the language, isn't it? Hey, Ben, Al.
How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Fucking life experience whatsoever.
Well, they have life experience, but they've been brought up and indoctrinated.
In a bubble.
Yeah, they've been brought up, indoctrinated. Language is a weapon. Everything is like feelings and.
I just disconnected myself totally from them. I can't. I just. You're lost. Unless you get one exception every now and then that was raised right with two parents or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
they're gonna have to see everything before them, because all they know is what they see here. Yeah. That's it. They don't know. They don't even know what happened before they were born. Nothing.
But you know what it is. You're very educated into this. Right. It's been an indoctrination for the past 50 years.
Exactly. Everybody's been programmed for that.
Yeah, and it's been slowly, incrementally going ahead through the school system, through the propaganda.
So it's not going to change overnight.
No. It very well could.
It could, but it would be a shock to everybody's system.
It's going to be a shock. Well, I think
it started. So.
Yeah, the shock happened with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, his election was the shock. And so what do you think he's going to announce tonight?
Well, he'll probably announce the fact that he's going to call national security. But what he's going to say, he's going to have two messages. And one is going to be for the people, the general public, and the other are going to be the people that can read between the lines.
It's only going to be an 8-minute speech.
Doesn't matter. The Anons can pick it up like that. You got the autists that can pick it up like that. And I'm feeling that, well, he's already started the tribunals. That Mockingbird Media is not even covering, because they're complicit. They're not even covering that, but they've already started the tribunals. That's the reason why Madison and Kelly and Sessions and Rogers left. And there's only a pretext that they had a disagreement with the president. They needed an exit out. But they're the ones running the tribunals right now. This one notebook got out that this woman had up in, I don't know if you heard about that, up in northeast there. It was Massachusetts. It was down in the bed and breakfast. But she was the wife of a guy that ran some type of photo company or whatever, and it's a 90-some-odd page bound notebook that she took a lot of notes in with a lot of names, a lot of companies, and she was asking for, nobody knows where she is, but they're hoping she's safe, because she says with the stuff that she's putting out, she hopes that she can be under some type of protection. Her husband had sold her to one of these alphabet groups at one point as a slave, as a sex slave. And she named a lot of big names in there. And actually, they're going to be using that book as evidence in a lot of these trials that are coming up. Because it implicates so many, not just here, but across the pond. And, the Five Eyes group, and they're shitting their pants now because it's coming out that the UK and Australia are involved in the dossier. They said, no, it's national security. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Because now, with a lot of other things disclosing, they have to open it up. So I tell you what, it's like every day I can't wait to go home to see the continuing saga. And I'm looking at so many different websites, and I cross-reference, and I'll come across one that sounds good, and then all of a sudden they'll say something like fucking shill or troll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But when you got the right ones,
misinformation.
When you got the right ones, it's like wow, it just comes together like.
Well, what do you think of those hackers that hacked the 9/11 files?
Yeah, those guys too. Those guys too. They got a lot of info. And this woman has the info too.
And we haven't heard anything since that came out. The news for 2 days. Hackers hacked 9/11 files, going to blackmail.
You haven't heard anybody, past presidents and vice presidents, tweeting since the Papa.
Yeah, Rumsfeld has disappeared off the.
All of them have. All of them have. You all stopped. Clinton put out their Christmas thing. It was from years past.
Yeah.
It was an old one. Obama put his out. It was from 2014. Everybody went silent. I don't know if you saw when they all got the paper. Did you see the film?
Yeah.
They all got the little paper, and then George Bush showed Laura something he wrote down, and she showed Jeb, and Jeb just like lost the poker game there. I think George Bush sold out. I think he flipped. I think he flipped to save his family. I think he's still going to go down. He's still going to be executed, but I think he's going to save his family, and that's why Trump picked Bill Barr as the coming guy, because he worked under Poppy Bush, and he's going to probably shield the Bush family when he goes after all those guys like Cheney and Rumsfeld and Powell and all those guys that conspired for 9/11. But then they got those two barges. You see those barges? The barges?
Yeah, the prison barges.
One went out of Rikers Island, the other one's down in South Carolina. All right, man. Take care. Have a good day.
All right, guys.
And they're filling them up. And they're going to be using other places. I know down in South Carolina, there's the holding tribunals there, Gitmo, and a couple of other places. I got a feeling the Atoll Islands and Diego Garcia, because they're penal islands too. But they're doing it in secret right now. Nobody's going to know. Mainstream media is totally blocked out of that thing. There's only going to be a certain alternate media that will be allowed after a certain time that they'll pick to dispense. And then they're going to televise. They'll televise it at a later date when Trump feels that it's necessary to tell. But
Why keep it secret?
Because if it goes out now, there's still too many people that are asleep. And the shock will be too much that it will cause too much chaos. And it'll be, he doesn't want people getting hurt over this. He doesn't want, the riots that are going on, like the Yellow Jackets going on right now.
It's going to happen anyway.
It is, but he's trying to scale it down to the point where it's not going to be as. He wants to get as much information as possible to show that once they see it, there's no way they can unrationalize it. There's no way they can say, well, like this guy, well, you can't parse words because it's right there, right there.
It's already right there.
It is for us. You got to remember that the Anons are way, way ahead of everybody. Way ahead. That's why we're so impatient. Come on, arrest them, arrest these motherfuckers. We're so impatient. Meanwhile, other people have no clue. They're like, just like I talked to the guys at work, they all look at me. Every time I turn on the news, they look at me because they all got sports on. They're all arguing sports, and I'm getting up. And finally, my supervisor goes, "You're getting up?" And I can turn the news. I said, "What are you going to do?" He goes, "I can't get into this politics." I said, "What are you turning sports?" And I said, "Well, that's because you're one-dimensional." He goes, "Nah, I ain't one-dimensional." I said, "What are you watching? Sports?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "See, one-dimensional." He goes, "You got it."
Like to leave anything in the bulletproof vest.
You bet your sweet ass I would. Well, are you going to get the picture there, young man?
Oh, yeah, I'll do something to get you kicked off of Facebook. Ready?
All right. That's perfect. How about getting a picture of me with doing that?
Yeah, get in there. All right.
You might be disowned from the rest of your family members.
He don't care.
There you go. Great.
Did anybody answer the question to the other side there? What's so immoral about a wall?
And what's wrong with these?
No. I've had a couple of them try to get into this one. Democrats are the racists, and I can prove it.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of them try to come up and, what are you talking about? And and
I read about the one reporter that left the pack to go over and personally witness Obama's house because everybody, all the Democrats, he never put up a wall. He never put up a wall.
The big wall right there.
He's got a 10-foot wall right there. They're talking about 2014, and he's catching them up to date.
Yeah.
Not just wall, but Secret Service down on each end of the street. And Pelosi's house.
They're all hypocrites and liars. If they just tell the truth, look, we want the votes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You did. Come on. You did.
They ran
You
out
just
of immigrants.
tell the
They ran
truth.
out of-
Truth is such a foreign thing to them. If it wasn't for hypocrisy, liberalism wouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
That is.
They ran out of minorities and
hypocrisy.
dead people. That ain't-
Here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton. It's good for any crime in the world.
Yeah, this country's in deep shit, boy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but we're digging our way out. I mean, he got in
Yeah.
against
God.
all odds. Come
But
on,
they're
man.
trying to rake him over.
I know.
We've just been talking about the military tribunals.
Yeah, we had another assassination attempt last week on him.
Really?
Some asshole Marine tried. And he tweeted out, he goes, I've never seen so many guys with machine guns outside my window. They got him protected.
Yeah.
They got him well protected. He's got his own security force and the Marines.
Yeah.
Who's
and
this?
the Marines. Trump.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
He's got the Marines. And now he's got Eric Prince on board.
Oh, yeah. Rich has been with him for a while.
But the
Yeah.
media, they were telling me
Media's
only 10%
all
would vote
complicit.
for Trump.
Oh, it was a shock when he won. It was right up to the second. They were like,
That's the only time I watched CNN, ABC, CBS.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. Like 5 hours late at night. I stayed up till 3 in the morning. I never did that in my life.
Yeah.
I was so great to see them cry and all their
I like it. You're very kind.
melted around their faces, melted like a lost art.
Oh, hey, man.
I'm afraid of this country. I'm afraid of these liberals, what they're going to do, you know.
Oh, well, they're afraid of what? These pencil neck, skinny jeans? Come on, are you kidding me? What's that be afraid of?
29-year-old woman from
Yeah, now
New York.
Cortez is a great propagandist for him.
She's about as ignorant as they get.
Yeah, but her propaganda method is beautiful.
Between her and Pelosi.
She's smart, actually.
Between her and
She's
Pelosi.
playing
Oh, yeah.
the media like Trump does.
You know,
Well, they're promoting her.
I think
She's
it's-
being very well coached.
It's a lot easier.
It's. I hate to say this, but it's pathogenic. There's something in the genetic makeup of a liberal Democrat that affects their cerebral thinking, and I believe very strongly it's pathological. Definitely pathological. Something's wrong with their mind.
No, well, they've been programmed. They don't call it programming for nothing.
It's too much of
I mean, between the educational system, the propaganda on the TV, the foods they eat, I mean, you know, the medicines they take, the vaccines. I mean,
that they don't take.
right. It is an
sick.
attack from all sides, and you do this after a couple of generations. You wind up with a Bernie Sanders as a possible candidate, or you get a Cortez in
But
there.
if you ask them a direct question about socialism and liberalism,
They look at you
can't
like,
answer.
you're a racist.
Yeah.
That's the end of the argument.
Well,
You're a
welcome to
racist.
my world.
Yeah.
I do that out there all the time.
That's like when
I
you
do
ever
is
watch John
challenge
White.
them.
Oh yeah.
He said, yeah, I had a debate. And when it got to the point, I looked at it and said, yeah, well, fuck you. I said, the place went quiet. I thought I won. It's the same thing. They say, you're a racist. And everybody's like, I give up. So they think they win the argument.
Yeah. They got these show business people. The guy goes to the other
Spacey?
night. Yeah, the other night at one of these Oscars or whatever the hell they call it.
Golden Globe Awards,
The
yeah.
guy comes out with a ridiculous attack on the president. You know?
But who watches those programs anymore
Idiots.
but the echo chamber idiots?
I don't know.
We're not watching them.
I haven't for years.
Yes. I mean,
Let's go see what's going
they're
on.
more and more into a slower
Keep it
soul.
up, brother. Keep it up. Don't stop.
Well, with your help, thank you very much.
I think the only people who get it are the people who were around when Kennedy got shot. Those are
I
the ones
don't.
who get it kind
Yes
of
and
right
no.
away.
But I'll tell you, you got to watch one of my latest videos. The coolest kid on the block. Watch that one.
Okay.
Little kid comes up.
And
to
he
me.
knows it, right?
I'm telling you. Boom! Boom! No more than these guys.
Yeah.
I swear. Just boom! He's right there.
Parents did. Or were his parents?
His parents were, he was by himself. His parents were over there. Kid was 11 years old and he was like just boom, rock solid. I'm telling you.
You'll be a candidate one day.
Oh man, he was just too cool. So I run into him all the time out here. I mean,
Oh,
that's,
he lives here?
you know, I run into kids all the time out here. I just run into college students. Same thing. Very
They're
hip.
the ones because they're really getting full
Well,
blast.
the ones I talked to hip. Those ones that were here were idiots when you walked up. But the ones I talked to before that were fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. No,
You'll find the working class kids more attuned to what's going on because they're not in that bubble. They're
going to pay taxes.
That academic bubble where they're getting all this theology, I mean, these theories thrown at them.
Yeah.
College is a different world. That's why they walk around like.
Oh. It's indoctrination centers. They've been taken over a long time ago. I mean, I've talked to enough people out here that they're out there shopping around for colleges for their kids. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you know, they're looking for a conservative place. So they're looking for the conservative colleges.
Somewhere
they know
where
it's
actually learn something.
Yeah, indeed.
Instead of react to something.
Yeah. They're out there. Now, how many people are homeschooling now?
Yeah, it's got to.
It's got about 40% of the people.
I'm glad that people are waking up to that fact because you're not learning anything next day. They're teaching you stuff to remember, but you don't learn. You don't learn the rationale behind what they're teaching you. That's why a lot of kids don't know what happened before they were born. A lot of millennials have no idea what history was like before they were born. They have to look it up on their phone. They can't tell you what presidents were before the past one. They can only go 2 presidents back, Trump and Obama. They don't know who was before that. Maybe Clinton if they're lucky. Before that, they have no clue. And that's a shame because these people are like 30 years old.
Talk to some of the tour guide people out here, and they take people on the tours. People say, we had a civil war?
People say, who won the Civil War? France? What country fought the Civil War?
Yeah, but those people, they don't matter. They don't matter, man. They don't matter. I mean, I don't care what percentage.
Those are the ones that the elites call the useless eaters.
Yeah, but they don't matter. The ones that matter are the ones that are paying attention and act. Those are the ones that matter, and that's why we're winning this thing. As I say, he got in. We got the tribunals going. Things against all odds are moving. Thank you. So, you know, with all this negativity that we can talk about,
I'm gonna tell you something.
we're still winning.
We're still winning. Now, with regards to Hillary, the emails are bad, but the foundation is where they got to look. The Clinton Foundation, it will bring her down.
I think they are looking into that.
They are. And Tom Fitton is doing a bang-up job.
That guy, he'll get a Medal of Freedom for that guy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that whole group.
He just bang it out. I mean, just tirelessly getting those FOIAs opened up.
Yeah, that whole group, and Trump has been
40,
just.
And they keep saying, well, the Senate only has 60 Democrats. You need a 60 vote, and Q keeps saying 53 to 47. They don't realize that a couple of those Democrats are going to be indicted. It's going to bring the number down to where they only need a 53 vote. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to be indicted. They're not going to show up for work one day and.
Plus, Trump has been jamming the courts with judges.
And then you got Ruthie. Ruthie I don't even know if she's still alive, really. They probably got her propped up because she's got like several doctors working on her.
Must be sacrificing a baby.
She missed her arguments now. Yeah. First time in forever, ever. So she's on her way out. And they're scared shit over that. Yeah. Then he's putting in interim people like Whitaker and those other people that they can't. They keep saying, well, they got to be approved. No, they don't. He's an intern. He can do whatever he wants.
What do they wind up doing if they put Whitaker in? They went ahead and raided one of Trump's, golf courses looking for illegal. Come on, man. The whole FBI ought to be disbanded.
They're going after everything. Comey's already sunk. Comey sunk himself. He's already out of the picture. Even his own people can't stand him. The FBI can't stand him now because he's so sanctimonious.
No. People are running right now.
Brenner got arrested. Brenner's gone. Brenner got arrested for pedophilia and child trafficking through the dark web, and his code name was Lotion Pumpkin. So you're not going to see Brennan doing it.
They just publicized that Democratic donor in California, second black guy, prostitute, got found dead in his apartment. Right?
You must have learned
that made mainstream news. That made mainstream news.
You learned that from Marion Barry.
So that's mainstream news that made.
Beat your hoe and get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's all being exposed. It's coming out.
Did you ever hear about the prophet? That guy who was a prophet, Kim Clement?
Ooh, that name sounds familiar.
He plays, and he prophesies as he plays like this organ, and he prophesied, and I'm looking at this back in February of 2014, he prophesied about Trump being elected. He didn't say Trump, but he did all the other stuff. This guy's going to come out of nowhere. They're going to be crying, impeach, 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 but to no avail. And he's going to make the Democrats scared, and he's going to make the Republicans uncomfortable. I mean, and this guy just recently died. He died of pneumonia, whatever. At 60. But I was listening to a couple of his things. I was like, wow, that was
the deal we got to watch out for. I think is they're going to try to collapse the economy. They've already tried several times, and they're going to blame that on Trump.
Well, that's what fucking Powell does all the time. Raise it every time Trump comes out and touts how good the economy is. He tweaks the interest rate, the rate, so that everybody says, well, it ain't that good because it. But
look what happens. The people counter and come back and bite.
Yeah. Plus, he's bringing back the gold standard, so that's going to bring down the Fed. He's doing it. He's doing it with the help. Kennedy tried to do it, but he didn't have the protection to do it. Trump learned from that. So he's got the protection to do it. And it's already in the process.
I think Kennedy thought he was going to be protected because he was from one of the Illuminati families.
That Bush was. But Trump did his homework. Let me tell you, the people did not pick Trump to be a candidate. The people did not pick him to be. The military picked him because they knew that there was a coup going on, and they needed to stop that. And they vetted him for years before they picked him. They vetted him for years. They said this guy's the only guy who fits all the parameters of a person, other than Perot back then. But they scared Perot out of it. He would have been a great candidate. And Trump was smart enough to run under one of the tickets. He ran under the Republican ticket, whereas Perot ran as an independent. So they vetted him, and he's got so much military intelligence around him, it's ridiculous. He's Q+. You see Q+, that's him. But,
yeah, I talked to one guy out here a 3 weeks ago. Young guy, very much into hacking computers, who has some friends in the military intelligence. And he said that basically the rundown is about 40% of the FBI and the CIA is with us, 60% are not. They're still with the Clinton company. 80% of the police are with us, and 95% of the military are with us.
Yep.
So that's basically how we broke it down.
Yep. And we have everything. They think that we don't have anything. All the stuff that Trump is asking for, he's already got it. He's already got it. He's giving them a chance to come clean.
But they're not.
They're not going to. But he's putting the optics out there so people wake up. Just like he had the optics of them sitting in his office. He didn't have to have that. But he wanted the American people to see how obstructionist they were. And he wanted them to see the body language, see what he's trying to do, trying to rationalize with them, and then see how they're whiny babies and don't want to do that. And then after that, he just lets them go. You know, and now they come out there like a little parade and start whining and crying against Trump. They try to use the media. They got that fucking girl now that's taking, what's his name's place, Acosta's place. Yeah, that whole funeral was, that was the counter. And it was funny because they keep picking it apart, and you see more and more stuff that's going on. Like they talk about the two Secret Service behind Bush and their role, and how everybody's other security agents sat like 2 rows behind them, but they were like 1 row behind them. And the one guy, he was fixated on everything they were doing.
I'm with you guys, man.
I didn't think you didn't look like no snowflake to me. I wasn't anticipating that I was going to hear anything, come out of his mouth.
Although he's afraid to wear his Trump hat.
Don't be. I just see any bullet holes in me. Don't be afraid. Be afraid of what? These pencil neck, skinny jeans.
I'm just teasing, but he thinks twice though every time he wants to put it on.
There you go.
Go here. Yep,
Where you guys from?
Indiana.
Indiana. That's Pence's old place, huh?
We're
I know him.
Mike Pence's hometown.
He's from our hometown. Yeah.
Like
great. Yeah, I like him.
Don't get too close because he's toxic too.
No.
He is,
he's toxic too. He's a nice guy, but he's got history.
What's his history?
His history is if he's not implicated in certain things, he was covering for them as governor, and that was the child trafficking in Indiana. He covered for a lot of people back then. And Trump was and he was one of the people that got the envelope too at the funeral. All the wives got the envelopes, and Pence's wife got one too. If you notice,
what's the
did you watch the
envelope?
funeral?
What's the envelope? What's that mean?
Everybody's trying to figure it out because they were shocked when they looked at it, and nobody's tweeted. None of those people have tweeted since the funeral. Now, if you notice the funeral, when Trump came in, you know where Pence sat, right? Right behind him. Did you see that? And Trump came in, he gave his coat to the officer.
Yeah.
Did you see any interaction between him and Pence, his vice president? None. Pence sat there just like this, didn't even acknowledge him. Trump went, sat down, usually he's shaking him. Obama's hand, didn't even acknowledge Pence. Pence knew.
Knew what?
He knew it was the story. And he knows what the deal is. Even when they sat in the office with Pelosi, everybody was making fun of the way he was because he just sat there like a bump on a log and did nothing. He just sat there. As Trump went at it with Pelosi and Schumer.
Well, I'll tell you about his brother real quick. Gregory. Gregory just got elected to Congress. He ran what you'd call a submarine strategy race.
Right.
0 debates, almost no media.
Stayed under the radar.
Stayed under the radar. Got elected in there on his brother's name. Okay? Now, Gregory had a company called Keel Brothers Oil Company. Keel Brothers Oil Company went under. They had a bunch of stores like Circle K. They got Circle K down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Circle K.
Oh, we had them on for still good.
And so, your federal tax dollars paid to clean up all the dirty sites at all the former gas stations. And Gregory went into business showing people how to file bankruptcy and preserving your assets. And that's what he's done since Keel Brothers Oil Company closed.
Good. I'm not saying that they're horrible people. I'm just saying that they might have covered.
Right. Yeah. And I think if you get, there's first thing that needs to be done. These guys need to go in there and they need to say, all right, we're taking the same health care benefit that everybody gets on Medicare, right? That's it. No frickin' pensions after one term. When they get elected to that, they get a couple $100,000 for life. They don't just get it for the term. No work, no pay, man.
Term limits to begin with.
Oh my goodness.
There's a whole bunch of things that need to be.
Oh man.
Well, it needs to be scaled down dramatically too. The whole government needs to be scaled down.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to happen eventually, one way or the other.
Well, I think once it's done, you won't even recognize
you just can't fund this stuff.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
We can't fund it now. We're funding it off of money we're making out of thin air.
The interest on the debt is more than what we pay for national defense.
And $21 trillion missing out of the Pentagon budget just so happens to be the same amount of money we are in debt. What a coincidence.
Well, you guys.
All right, my man.
All right, guys.
All right, take care.
Yeah, so the whole pedophile thing is what has been like the glue that kept that whole corruption together.
That's the leverage they had on each other.
Yeah. And that is like, there's two sides of that right now. You see that, I mean, you see them still pushing it. Yeah. You they're still pushing. I mean, the left is still pushing their whole leftist program. They still got, I mean, like 11-year-old kid that got going around, prancing around.
You ever watch Dave Totoshini, Net for Truth, USA?
No.
You got to see his. He just put his last one out. It went into the actual footage of that guy that I forgot what state it was in. The guy that had that big container that he forgot 2 payments on. And so they came and they took it. And they said the container was so heavy that they couldn't get it off the truck, that it was breaking the winch. So they would send people out there to empty it out. They found 17,000 baby corpses in there.
Oh, Jesus.
They were all dismembered, cut up, all the shit from abortions, and it showed them. And it was like this. And even the guy that was performing the autopsy said, I can't look at this anymore. This is crazy. This is crazy. More than organ harvesting. These motherfuckers, man. You know?
Satan, baby, Satan.
17,000. And they did something. They had to put it somewhere. They had to put them all back in there because they couldn't bury him. And then they wanted the guy to give him a decent burial. And then the ACLU comes in and says, they're not people, so you can't bury them. You got to incinerate them. So they had to put them in a container, and now they're somewhere else. God knows they're not refrigerated.
I tell you, there are a lot of times I think that revolution can't come soon enough.
I know. But in its time, when it comes, might not even be in our lifetime there.
Oh, I can't help but believe it will be.
I hope so.
Things are happening too fast, Al. They're just happening too fast.
I know, they're speeding up.
And I can't see how it's going to go on much longer before something breaks. The center will not be able to hold.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see it sooner than later.
It's going to be faster now because of the fact that we're technologically more advanced, so we can happen.
Yes.
And we can see it happen in real time.
Yes. Too many things are happening.
We see it happen in real time. So that's the advantage that we have. That makes it a lot harder for them to get away with this shit. You know?
Plus,
they could have covered it up back during the Kennedy era because we didn't have all that stuff. We had to go by what they told us. You know?
Plus, if there's any one thing that Trump is really coming down on is the pedophiles.
Yeah. Well, that was his first executive order.
February 1st year he was
21st of December.
Second month he was in on that, he went ahead and started that. And he just signed
martial law went into effect January 1st.
About 2 weeks ago, he signed the Child Reparations Act.
And the media knows what's going on. That's why they declared this National Trafficking Awareness Month, because they want to condition people to be, they want to condition them to that fact, keep it in their mind so that when this shit goes down, it'll almost seem like it's, another one. They don't want the impact to be that great. That's what the deep state, they don't want that to happen. They want it to be kind of like numbed a little bit. So they're trying hard. And they're pushing out they're trying to push out the idea that videos can be doctored and all this other stuff. They're trying to put that in people's heads, and the people are going to fall for it.
But yes and no, but people, I talk to enough people that already know that they can't believe what they see, what CGI and all.
I know.
Come on, they make stuff up out of nothing. I mean, look at the movie Wag the Dog when they get...
they made a war.
Yeah.
They made a war.
On TV, right? What was that made? 1998 or something?
What's going on in real life. They mirror. They tell you. Hollywood tells you what's going on if you're aware. Yeah. Why do you think they killed Stanley Kubrick? Don't put that movie out.
Yeah.
There's 20 minutes at the beginning that was deleted out of that movie with the interaction between Nicole Kidman and the older guy she was dancing with. They took that whole thing out of it because it exposed too much.
Yeah. Yes.
Hollywood tells you a lot, even going back. And I remember
it's in their doctrine. It's part of their.
Orange exposes the MK Ultra.
It's in their doctrine to go. They figure they get power by telling you what they're going to do beforehand. It's part of their.
Man, where can I get those killer pants? Dang. I could use that.
Really like they're all standing.
Just some character he made up. He's an artist down at the square, and on slow days he doesn't want to do the square. He comes out, dresses up in that thing, and goes out and goofs on people.
Vote for Earl.
He's a character. Well, obviously he's a character. He's very cool. I like it when he goes by.
Yes, so much is happening, and it's so good to see it happening now, And he had to wait until, it took a while because he had to get all his people in place.
Well, that's to say, putting the judges and stuff.
You only get one time to do it, and if you fuck it up, that's it. So, take your time.
And the left is pushing back equally as hard. They're coming back equally as hard, but they're going to fail. They're going to fail because you know this. They always overplay their hand. Always.
Because they work by the same playbook. They never change. They never change. Right. They're what you call archons. Archons have no imagination. All they do is mimic. They mimic.
Right. So the only people are going to fall for it are the same people that have been falling for it. And then there are people that are going to wake up to it. Because I've heard other people out here just going, wait, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
I can't. I've talked to Democrats that are going, no, we need a wall. We need some immigration. That's one thing I can't agree with on the Democrats. I hear it all the time out here from
it makes no sense.
The moderates, if they want to call them moderate Democrats.
They come up with their argument. It just blatantly makes no sense. You listen to Pelosi, who can't string two sentences together now. I don't know what.
The wall's immoral. It's an inanimate object. How can you make a wall immoral?
Well, she's got 6 of them.
Yeah. So again, they just spin on the wheels. And that's why I say it's got to come to a head.
I want to see some of the mainstream media go down, like Lemon and Cuomo.
They're already down.
Fucking ass.
They're already down.
No, I'm talking about like down. I want to see them go as being complicit.
Yeah.
Or just knocked off just exposed for who they are, so that the main
They're
public
exposed
understand.
to the thing is nobody listens to them, but but no one listens to them. But the people that are echo chamber idiots,
Right.
They get such a. I mean, what was it? What was it? It was Yogi Bear cartoon reruns had a higher viewer than CNN.
Yeah,
The
exactly,
last,
yeah.
Come on, man.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes, who gives a shit about Don Lemon? Who gives? I mean, it blows my mind. Even with Breitbart, Breitbart sort of keeps on putting up these celebrities and these guys
because there's different people. I mean,
who gives a? I bet you more people read the articles in Breitbart about those people than watch the original broadcast that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
So they don't mean anything. These people. They're just they're talking to the wind.
Yep.
It's just it's not going anywhere, man. It's not going. That's why I say they're getting more desperate. They're going to get more, and they get more. It's like even tonight, if Trump indeed calls a national emergency, I'm saying I'm having the military build a wall. Screw Congress. I'm looking for the left to call out their dogs and riots, false flags.
He's got to be careful with that. He might have to declare martial law.
Yeah, well, that's also been, how many people have been talking that's going to happen? I mean, I would say right after Christmas, martial laws, that was a meme going over and over again with a lot of the YouTube pundits. Martial law is going to be declared. Yeah, eventually it will be, and it might be. If he declares the military to build the wall, that might be
That's ultimately what it's going to come down to, because they're not going to give in. They're not going to give in. They don't want to keep. They can't have to keep a promise because that destroys their party.
Unless, of course, at the same time, the indictments, we come in and we just pull the rug out from underneath them, and they come in and say, "You're coming with us." Boom, and the military comes in and snatches them and throws them and get them out. That's the only thing that's going to quell or stop.
They might even get them to change their mind on the wall. Well, you want the wall? Just leave me alone. You can have a wall. We'll give you the wall.
I mean, there's always that element of blackmail that goes down with it, and that might be played. But I'd like to me, though the heavens may fall, let justice, let the truth be told.
Then you got fucking Mitt Romney. What the hell is this story?
Another guy that nobody gives a shit about. I mean, even the Republicans are going, what the hell is with this guy?
Yeah.
Come on, man. These are marginal assholes. No one gives a crap anymore. These guys they're talking to the wind. Nobody hears them. Nobody hears them.
I love when people say, Trump's an asshole. I said, how many buildings do you have all over the world?
Look at fake honest, right? Look
oh my God, she nauseates me.
The Democrats are just from her.
Yeah.
I mean, she comes out and tries to justify her lies with that, well, ancestry is different than tribal acceptance. You say, what?
They don't want your lily white ass.
You're stupid. And then there's I'm going to get me a beer.
Yeah. I'm hip.
Yes, I am just like you. Watch me drink beer. You might remind me if they remember old skits of Saturday Night Live with the Coneheads. Yes, they it says,
I want to consume.
I want to consume. Right, exactly. So it's like that. She reminds me of like a Conehead. Oh God, no! I tell you, who Bernie Sanders is talking about.
He looks like a mad scientist.
I know. Yeah, Joe Biden. This is new blood.
Creepy Joe.
This is new blood.
You see everybody's getting the kids, get away from him. You see him going after the kids. I read this one where he confessed to, I don't know if it was an old roommate or whatever. He says, before I get around these kids, I got to jerk off. He goes, I got to jerk off and clean my pipe before I'm around them, or else I can't control myself. And that's the reason why he doesn't drink either. He's a teetotaler. He goes, once he has alcohol, and one Secret Service guy got suspended because he pushed Joe, because Joe cuffed his wife's during a photo.
Yeah, that guy's a total creep. He used to always running around naked and stuff.
Yeah. Creepy Uncle Joe. Wants to be president.
Yeah, how does this even apply? How do you?
And they say he's a front runner.
Yeah. They say, who the hell? Let's just be glad Cortez isn't old enough to run. I mean, of course they got Beto. You know.
Beto.
Jesus Christ. I mean, these people are so transparent. You can see through them. You know.
But people can't because they're so, I mean, they did a good job on fucking messing these people's heads up. They really did. After 50 years of program, these people are fucked, man. You got to hit them over the head with a sledgehammer to wake them up.
Yeah, but I think they're becoming fewer and fewer and fewer. Yeah, there's still many of them,
but it's not critical mass yet. It's still off the critical mass of people waking up to the point where it makes a big difference, where it flips the script.
It's fine to, you know, the prophecy said.
Right.
The prophecy says that we will eventually be taken over by a world government, you know, world socialist government. But everything in the prophecies also say that we have the power to change those prophecies.
Exactly. Because we have free will.
Yes.
You have free will.
And I still believe we can do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Again, where did he come from?
Queens. I like watching Ben Shapiro take him apart. Take him apart.
But I don't trust Ben Shapiro. Not at all. I think he's taken the place of Glenn Beck as a shill. I mean, look what he's trying to do right now. He's pushing out Michael Savage. They're taking away Michael Savage. Oh yeah, listen to Savage. Savage is #1 bestseller. He's actually was the initiator of a lot of our psychological warfare programs within the CIA and the intelligence agencies. Harvard psychologist. I mean, this guy's like all over the place. Super patriot. I think he's my age, and he's like one of the top radio programs in the country. 3-hour program. They just took him down to 1 hour and replaced him with Shapiro. And Shapiro's never had a radio program in his life. He's never had any background. He came out of nowhere. So they're trying to push him in to take over Savage, because Savage is like, he's us on steroids.
Different level, yeah.
He's us on steroids. He's been pushing for, a hardcore, everything we're talking about. Yeah, you got to listen to Savage.
Is more on a social level than a political level. He talks more about social behaviors than political backings. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. Tom Fitton had exposed the fact he finally got the FOIAs that showed that the DOJ suppressed information about Michael Flynn.
Yeah. I mean,
totally exonerated.
Gateway Pundit keeps on bringing up all these things, but you read the comments, Gateway Pundit, people are going, if I read another story about exposing the crimes with nothing getting done, I'm going to puke.
You're impatient. It's an emotional thing.
Well, I feel that way too.
Yeah, we're only human. You want justice. You really want justice. You want to see it happen.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But in the end, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
I'm getting old. I can't wait that long.
I'm getting old too. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, it's so much of a different world nowadays.
Oh, fuck.
It is everything flipped. Everything.
Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man?
And what people... I go to work in a casino. When you walk in, everything is still opulent. Like a casino should be, even though it's not the same, it's still opulent. But you're dealing with people who look like fucking piles of dirty laundry when they walk in. The slovenly people and the attitude and the entitlement. I'm like, we built this for you. For you? You go on a cruise ship, it's done up so nice, and you get the people. We did this for you? What happened? What happened when people used to dress up to go to a casino? Or dress up to go on a cruise and act decent to each other?
Travel on an airplane.
And be polite.
Yeah.
And travel on an airplane.
Yeah. No, well, you know what it is. It's
if you do something as simple as enforcing dress code in places, it'll change a whole attitude of people. Because when you dress them better, they act better. If you
they don't even do that in schools. Come on. Yeah, you expect them to do it in public when they're not even doing it in schools.
Yeah. I mean, we are the worst.
I was talking to a principal the other day from here, from Louisiana. I asked him, you having to deal with the whole gender thing? He goes, oh yeah, we got kids we got different bathrooms. Yeah, gender fluidity, they change it. The guy the guy we're talking about from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Says New York right now, birth certificates don't have the gender on them. They're letting the kids pick the gender.
I want to be a tree. So call me Apple. The biggest things in America right now, what Americans are being known for, is watching football, eating too much junk food, and twerking. That's what we value as Americans. That's our biggest value. That's what we have to offer.
Except for NFL is losing viewers like crazy.
Find out the people who twerk are actually trans.
I want to see if we're going to swallow the 5G technology.
They're already pushing. See Verizon with their commercials. They're making, oh, it's the greatest thing. Yeah. Go fry another neighborhood. If they come in my neighborhood, I'm going to tear it down. I'm not putting that thing next to my house. Is my wife with cancer? No.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be a lot of saboteuring going on.
Yeah, because those cells have to be within 500 feet of each other in order for it to work.
Oh, closer than that.
So every house has to have one.
Closer than that.
Yeah. So you're I'm not sure if I have a smart meter in my house. I might even have a smart meter in my house. And if
you got to watch out. That's one thing about the place I'm living in right now. I'm pretty sure they have a smart meter because they got smart.
And that's the cause of those fires that are happening in California because the houses are disintegrated and the trees are still flourishing. Those things can sink into anything that's plugged into your house.
Spoke to two people from Vegas today, lifelong there. One of them worked in the district attorney's office, right? Low level, but still. And I obviously asked him about the massacre. Is anybody talking about it? No. Did the district attorney do anything about it? No.
Oh, they closed the case.
Well, how do you close the case? We don't even know what happened.
I know. They closed it.
Yeah, we don't even know what
biggest mass murder in history.
Yeah.
And they closed it.
Yeah.
Well, second biggest. You had 9/11.
Yeah, but we don't know what the motive was. We don't know if he was the guy that did it. We don't know.
We got the information. Don't worry, we got the information, but they just think that
Well, this one guy says he was playing in Caesars. He was at Caesars that night. At night, he says there was shooting in Caesars that night. He says, well, I was there.
Well, Trump was in there too. You know, Trump was in Vegas then too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing was to be a distraction to get in. What was I going to say? Deborah Travares. You ever hear her?
Yeah.
She's good exposing with the smart meters and what NASA wrote in their document about using these weapons, these electronic weapons against people. And she lays it out on the line. I mean, she just goes into detail.
Yeah.
Very brilliant woman.
It just blows my mind. You know, I mean, here's another thing that's bothering me too, because we're still seeing all this shit go down. Number one, when we're talking about this electronic crap, the people. I mean, these people have kids too. You'd think they'd be.
They were born into this. A lot of these young people were born into this.
Worry about it. The chemtrails are still going on. We still got ethanol in the gas. I mean, there's so much that's still going on that I would think could have been stopped by some presidential directive just by saying, stop this, stop this.
You got to do it gradually, though. You can't just all of a sudden one day flip a switch. Okay, everything's going to be different. What are you talking about?
Well, some of the stuff could. I mean, we
pulled out of the Accord, the Paris Accord, so you see a lot less chemtrails. I hardly see any. Once in a while, I might see them, but that's just once in a great while. I used to see them all the time, every day.
I know it's true, but what was it? You know, we had one of the few sunny days we had a couple of weeks ago.
Catch them doing that.
It was people even were making comments and were coming out. I thought it was supposed to be clear today.
Yep.
You know, it was all over the place. So no. Now, as I said, this
that'll change.
It wouldn't happen soon enough because I
know.
Jesus Christ, who knows what though? I mean, one of these days you just, all right, let's get rid of the sons of bitches. You know.
Yeah. You don't want to have collateral damage also.
Oh man, they don't give a shit. Once they pull the plug on the old depot, if they want to, they can. You know, just like kill them all. Which they might do if it comes to a point where, you know, they figure they are going to go down. It could be a scorched earth. And they'll just let it all go.
A lot more to look at. Anyway, I'm gonna walk around. Pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
All right.
It's rare to find somebody I can. I talk to less and less people lately. I don't like people. I just don't like people anymore. I don't. And I said I saw a website that says if you don't like people or you find that you have nothing to say to people, it's usually because you're smarter than the people you're around, and you just don't want to lower.
But the thing I've been
because
finding,
when you have groups of people and you listen to what they talk about, it's
well, listen to my channel because I tell you, I've been finding, because you know I'm out here trying to get in arguments, right?
Right.
But all I'm running into people is that people agree with me. It's like, you know, so if you want to lift your spirits up, hang out here for a while. I'm telling you, because I'm looking for the argument. And you know, and I'm getting people come up. Yes, so that's why I have this positive attitude, because we got to be winning, because I'm not running into anybody that's, you know.
That's good. That's great.
I mean, it's got to be 50 to 1. I swear it's 50 to 1. Minimum.
That's good. That's compared to last summer.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I know. Maybe they put the word out. Stay away from that guy. Because they don't. Planned Parenthood people don't come around here anymore. The ACLU, they don't come around here anymore. Because the minute I see them, I grab my cameras and I'm on them. So I bet you the word is out. Don't go near Libo Park. Yeah. All right, brother man.
Be safe.